welcome to another episode of the People Pulse podcast, where we delve deep into the difficulties of building a thriving workplace. Today, we're exploring the vital connection between internal communication and employee experience, uncovering actionable insights from an industry expert. The following is a conversation with Sivadas Radhakrishna, internal communications and employee experience professional with over 12 years of experience in strategic people initiatives, marketing, and communications. He worked across industries as aviation, entertainment, sports, automobile, and academia. A voracious writer, believer in sharing whatever he learns through his constant engagement with internal communications and employee experience community over LinkedIn, which recognize him as top voice in the internal communication space. Hi, Shivdas. Thank you for being with us today and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Nina. It's a pleasure. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. I'm looking forward to discussing all these interesting topics with you today. Now, can you perhaps share an example where the digital employee experience was transformative and another where
Yeah.
it caused frustration, but only because I guess it wasn't properly communicated or people weren't taught how to leverage on this technology?
Yeah. I think if you discuss with any employee experience professional or somebody who is in a digital space, one thing that you would see across all organizations is there is a lot of implementation for tools and technology done in silos previously. So you would have let's say your talent acquisition team has implemented something independently to kind of source the candidates. You have data or records team which has implemented something very separately. You have, let's say, some benefits portal, which is another system implemented as a separate, channel altogether. Now you think the cognitive load on an employee when they come in and they need to remember, let's say, 13 passwords, because
Mhm.
every time the passwords are different, right? And you are actually spoiling your time and you're actually, draining the energy of employees to do these additional things. Yeah. So one transformative example that I have seen is, and this is something which is very upcoming trend within a lot of organizations, is there is a concept of super app. So there is an application which kind of speaks to all these systems individually. But as an employee, you don't really need to log into all this system. You just log into one single application, which is like a wrapper or an aggregator for all these systems. And there is a technological challenge. A lot of organizations are not able to replace their old systems because there's too much data dependency. There is too much integration dependency. So they're not able to replace them to, let's say, a new swanky ERP. You cannot do that. So what people are doing is they're creating a wrapper on top of it, which interacts with all of these systems. And this becomes highly transformative for employees because now they don't have to log into the like 13, 14 applications. They just log into their employee application. They can do all the things from there. And that kind of helps a lot of people. It saves time, it saves remembering this multiple logins, passwords, missing out on tasks because you didn't log into some system which had some approval for you to do. All of this can be now tracked from a single. So this is transformative. Now, you asked a very interesting question of drawbacks because this is not something which people look at. People always speak of only positive stuff. They want, to transform things and stuff. But it's very important to remember the drawbacks also. And one major drawback that I see is the financial aspect. There is a lot of investment required to kind of, improve your digital experience. It is not something which is very cost effective methods. It's not. You implement any external platforms, there is a huge cost involved. You want to develop something natively within your organization, there is a cost involved. So one factor is definitely the financial factor. And is there buy-in from management to do this investment? This is another question. A lot of
Exactly.
times the decision makers may not really be tech savvy. So how do you kind of explain the benefits to them in a very simple language? So it becomes very important. This factor becomes very important. Explaining it in a very simple business value terms to the
Communication.
decision. Communication becomes very
Communication.
important. Yes, this is one. Second is with so much digital aspects coming into an employee's life, data privacy becomes a major aspect. And you look at places like Europe and US, the data protection laws are very, very stringent. And anybody who is implementing things need to be aware of this data protection laws. You need to have those kind of specific. Something else is like you would have a lot of concerns of cyber attacks and stuff like that that can happen. If you are an organization which is huge and of interest to people, there is cyber attacks that can happen on your organization. So these are some drawbacks that would come in. And another drawback is also from the people itself, which is the biggest, the adoption rates. You might people implement a lot of solutions and systems, but what is the adoption rate that are your employees really using those things? It's good to put it in presentation and say I have implemented ABC, but what's the ROI? What's the adoption rate? How well are your employees to kind of use those? This becomes major questions to ask.
Very, very good points. I would say that I have to agree that, how we communicate with management, that improving the overall digital experience is an investment. It's
Yes,
not a cost. It adds
correct.
significant value to an organization in the long run. With
True. Very
increased
much.
productivity, streamlined processes, enhanced customer satisfaction,
Yes.
as you've mentioned, very important, strengthened data security. And
Most
if we
important.
can, of course, and if we
Yeah.
can prove those high adoption rates, these digital enhancements offer, clear benefits for any company. And
True.
to gain this leadership buying, we always have to know how to emphasize the ROI and alignment with the broader company goals. Great. Can you perhaps tell me now, considering the advancements in AI and all these
Yeah.
digital technologies,
Yeah.
what would you say is a safe prediction to make for the future of internal communications?
Actually, I would say that, while adopting any digital solution, okay, I think AI is a part of the conversation throughout now. You pick anything, it eventually finally leads to some integration with AI somewhere or the else. So I would say while adopting digital solutions, we need to align it with our strategic objective. And this is very important. If you say that you want to improve your cross department, let's say collaboration, are you implementing solutions to achieve that? This becomes a major question, because a lot of times we go out and someone pitches us an amazing idea. Like, you have a lot of people, very, very smart, very knowledgeable people who are pushing this digital platforms across to the organizations. We have to be very aware, is this matching our strategic objective? Okay, this is very important. Something that we have to remember always. And and how do this kind of transform into the future? I think something that we have to remember is, today a lot of focus is on emergent experiences. So people are speaking a lot of applications, devices. You are speaking about processes that tie into all these things. But I think as we go towards the future, this emergent experiences will probably transform into a more coherent experiences, where one thing ties into something else. So you will have journeys of employees, like right from, let's say, their onboarding to offboarding, and even probably beyond, going into the alumni experience and kind of creating a cohesive journey throughout. So a lot of systems would start doing tasks in a very personalized manner, because personalization is going to be the key as we go forward. Uh, Think of an example. If today AI is so powerful that it can actually create a video where your CEO is welcoming individuals by taking their names, because you just need one speech and then you can alter the name using AI. So you would have your CEO, imagine a CEO of, let's say, a organization with 100,000 employees, actually taking name of a very entry level worker who is joined that particular organization and saying, welcome to XYZ, to this family. It actually creates that bond. So you have this kind of power in your hands, but how do we use it and how we transform it becomes very important. So personalization is something which I would say is very, very, very keen as we go forward. And this concept of sending mass messages is something that you would probably see slowly, die out from the internal com space. One email going out to 100,000 employees saying that tomorrow is XYZ. It's not going to happen anymore as you go forward. Probably in 5 years time, you would stop seeing this kind of thing. You would need more personalized messages. You would need more engaging with people at moments that matter. It is very important that you engage with employees at the moments that matter. And and if you look at the future, I think you can divide this into two parts, planned moments and unplanned moments. So today, I think a lot of organizations have capability to communicate with employees during the planned moments. Let's say you are onboarding, you would get a nice message from the organization. Let's say you are promoted, you would get a nice message from your organization. Let's say you are going out from the organization during offboarding, you would get a nice exit survey. Thank you for your service and blah blah things. These are all planned moments. But what about unplanned moments? There is an untimely death in my family, in the employee's family. How do you deal with this? Can we have solutions which can take care of employees in this kind of places? What if I'm going through a marriage or a divorce? Is there platforms that can deal with this unplanned moments? And I think this is where you would see a lot of AI integrations happening and automation happening and learning, the machines learn on their own, the machine learning part of it, where they would probably interact with employees with a lot more empathy, create easier things, and, apply for leave on their own. Like, for example, you have a compassionate leave. Do you want the employee to apply that leave and give a reason why that person is going? You don't need. Can you create this, automate this kind of moments? I think this is where I see, the future going.
Great. Thank you. And you've mentioned some very, very interesting concepts that are yet to be discovered and utilized by companies. And I could not agree more that personalization driven, let's say, integration, especially in the internal communication space, I think it's a game changer because it will help us be, as you said, more empathetic and sees both planned and unplanned, especially the unplanned moments that matter in people's lives, which will again boost engagement and alignment with the company's strategic goals.
True.
Now, Shivdas, on a very different note, I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and your career over the years, and it seems that you have a track record of success across different industries. So
Thank you very much.
I'm interested in understanding what is your secret sauce to being successful in different roles, and what advice would you offer to folks who are just kickstarting their career?
Okay. I think, Nina, actually, when you say this, I don't really consider, that I've done great stuff. I mean, there is so much more potential to do, and it's just a drop in the ocean until now. So I look forward to a lot more that probably we can, contribute, achieve together, and work together. So keeping that aside, what I would say is something that I always say, and I kind of created this. I'd done this experiment previously where I used to kind of interact with people who are starting off in their careers, and I come from an education background, so I used to take guest lectures. So I used to kind of interact with students who want to come into communications, who want to come into marketing, who want to come into people initiatives kind of a role. So something that I always tell people is discipline is very important than motivation. And the reason why I say this is you would probably be motivated in patches. Okay. Today I'm highly motivated and tomorrow I'm not motivated, So people rely on motivation to achieve things in life. What I think is discipline is a much better way to do it. You don't do a lot of things, together. You do small things, but keep doing them over a period of time, and you would automatically see the graph increase of the things that you have done. So if every day, it's the same as a great example I'd heard somewhere on a vlog that I was watching, an example of somebody who used to go to a gym. The person starts going probably for a 2 minutes or 3 minutes every day. And people used to laugh at that person, saying that, what are you trying to do, like, by coming 5 minutes into a gym? But what that person was trying to do was create a habit. So that 5 minutes became 10, then it became probably 20, then it became half an hour. And then the people who were motivated highly left the gym in a couple of months because the motivation dropped. But the person who had the discipline over a period of time started to manage to live a very healthy life. So discipline is something which is very important. Second point that I would say, focus on results. Results is very important than anything else. You can have a great idea. You can have a lot of concepts. You can have a lot of frameworks. What matters is results. And while you present things to, your managers, your senior leaders, your executive vice presidents, or whoever is there in the organization, focus on the result part, because ideas are, available in the market at a time. You can get so many ideas, and that is very important. So how can you achieve a result? It might be something very simple. You don't need to come up with a big framework. Something very simple, but it improves a process, saves money, improves people's experience. This matters. So this is something. Learning is another thing. Continuously learn. I actually come from a generation which transformed from, let's say, dial-up internet to broadband. So imagine a situation where we used
Yeah.
to have things, even for a page to load, it used to take so long. And
Remember,
today
yeah.
you have everything on your phone. You just type something, you can learn as you go. And knowledge is available free of cost in this world. It's so much educational YouTube videos, YouTube channels on any of the subject that you want to learn. So what is stopping you? Just pick up, spend some time and learn every day. This is something which is very important. And one thing that has helped me personally a lot is networking. Create networks. I always tell people that you are an average of 5 people that you interact with daily. So make
I've
sure that
heard that one.
who are,
Yeah.
yeah, who are those 5 people that you interact with daily, and how do they contribute to your growth? Not only in career, but personally, mentally, all these things matter. So it's very important that you have those friend circles and people who constantly motivate you, push you to be better. If you start sitting among millionaires, you would automatically see you become a millionaire. Probably. You know, that's an example. So you think you interact with people who would push your knowledge and your ability to a next level, you would automatically see yourself grow in career. You would automatically, they would open doors for you to a lot more opportunities. So this is something that probably I would love to share. And last one point that I can think is adaptability. It's very important to adapt to what
Mhm.
is happening around you. So
Fifth
yeah,
element.
that's something that I would.
Great advice. Thank you so much. So if we can summarize, motivation can come and go, but sticking to
Yes,
discipline habits is key for
yes,
staying on
very
track.
much
I would say
true.
here grit, which means not giving up when things
Yeah,
get tough, helps us stay on track and focused on making a difference and
yeah,
reaching our long. You also said continuous learning and networking
yes,
also play a big part, which eventually helps us grow and connect with others along the way.
true.
Well, thank you, Shivdas, for tuning in to this enlightening discussion on internal communication
Most
and
welcome.
employee experience. We enjoyed having you as our guest. And remember, the key to fostering a thriving workplace lies in strategic communication and relentless focus on enhancing the employee journey. Stay
Yes.
tuned for more valuable insights on our upcoming episodes. Thank you.